The transport ship broke through the thick blue clouds of Lysar 7, gliding smoothly toward the Galactic Union Capitol Tower. From the viewing deck, Alex Voss stared out in silence. Below him, the city stretched like a living organism, glowing buildings that pulsed with energy, sky bridges full of floating life forms, and airships drifting between massive crystal towers. He adjusted the collar of his formal Earth delegation uniform, a sleek grey design with a simple silver insignia over the chest. A stylized Earth surrounded by stars, it was clean, practical, and a little too tight around the neck. He felt the weight of Earth's hope resting on his shoulders. "Ambassador Voss," the ship's AI said in a calm, feminine voice, "we will land in 3 minutes. Council proceedings begin within the hour." "Understood," he replied. His voice was steady, but inside his thoughts raced. This wasn't just a diplomatic mission. It was Earth's chance to join the Galactic Union, a coalition of over 300 advanced civilizations. After decades of technological growth and painful history, Earth was finally considered for inclusion. But not everyone wanted them in. Alex had read every file, watched every transmission, and memorized every name. He knew the odds were stacked against him. Earth's past, wars, pollution, social collapse, was no secret. Many Union members saw humans as too emotional, too aggressive, and too unpredictable. Still, Earth had changed. It had united. It had risen from the ashes of its mistakes, and Alex was here to make that clear. The ship docked with a soft thud. The doors slid open with a hiss, revealing a wide landing platform bathed in golden light. Waiting at the edge stood a delegation of Union stewards, tall, blue-skinned beings with elongated limbs and crystal-like eyes. "Welcome to Lysar 7, Ambassador Voss," one of them said. "Please follow us to the council chamber." Alex nodded politely and followed. As they walked through the corridors, he took in the site's walls that shimmered with moving patterns, light panels that responded to motion, and alien artwork that floated in midair. Every corner reminded him he wasn't home anymore. They reached a wide lift that rose silently through the central tower. When it opened, Alex stepped into a massive chamber shaped like a dome, filled with light and motion. The Galactic Council Hall. It was circular, with tiers of seating rising along the curved walls. Delegates from hundreds of species filled the space, some upright and humanoid, others floating, slithering, or moving with mechanical limbs. The center of the chamber was a clear platform, suspended in midair, where speakers addressed the council. Alex took his assigned place on the lower level, beside a glowing nameplate that read Earth, Provisional Delegate. A deep voice echoed across the hall. "The council recognizes High Chancellor Valor Thax of the Cerelian Dominion." Alex turned to face the speaker. Valor stood tall and still, wrapped in dark armor with silver trim. His skin was a smooth stone gray, and his eyes glowed faintly red. Every word he spoke was slow, sharp, and deliberate. "Colleagues," Valor said, "today we begin hearings to decide the future of a young, unstable world, the planet known as Earth." His gaze shifted toward Alex. "Their people have achieved much, but at what cost? They bring ambition, yes, but also chaos, destruction, fear. Are we prepared to welcome that into our circle of peace?" A ripple of murmurs moved through the chamber. Alex said nothing yet. His time to speak would come, but his jaw clenched, and his mind sharpened. He'd expected this. Valor was the strongest voice against Earth's membership, and the most respected in the council. If Alex couldn't win hearts and minds here, Earth would be left out, forgotten, alone. After the opening session, the delegates began to leave the hall. Some walked past Alex without even a glance. A few offered polite nods, others stared coldly. Only one stopped. A tall, bird-like creature with copper feathers and narrow eyes stepped forward. "You are Alex Voss," it said in a melodic tone. "I am Cianol of the Trinari Collective. I heard your planet grows food from the oceans now." Alex smiled faintly. "Yes, we developed floating farm systems after our land was exhausted." The alien tilted its head. "Interesting. Innovation through survival. I admire that. Perhaps Earth deserves to be heard." Then it moved on. Alex remained alone for a moment, taking in the emptying hall. The next few days would be full of negotiations, meetings, and arguments. He'd have to prove that Earth was more than its past, that humanity could bring value, not chaos. He walked slowly out of the chamber, his thoughts focused, his steps steady. The galaxy was watching, and Earth was ready to speak. The council city of Lysar 7 never slept. Even at night, its skies glowed with pale violet light, and its towers hummed with energy. For Alex Voss, sleep was not an option. His first full day of diplomacy had begun, and already the shadows were moving. He stood on a transparent skywalk, overlooking the great forum plaza. Alien diplomats walked below, each dressed in the traditional colors of their homeworlds. Some glided on air currents, others moved with mechanical limbs or floated in protective suits. Every species had its own way of speaking, thinking, and judging, and nearly all of them had an opinion about Earth. Alex took a deep breath and adjusted the small comm piece in his ear. His aide, Taran, a soft-voiced AI with a calm tone, spoke through it. First meeting of the day, Councillor Mezera of the Jarathi Assembly. She is open to dialogue but cautious about Earth's history. Understood, Alex replied. He made his way to a curved chamber where Mezera waited. She was tall and thin, her skin shimmering like liquid metal. Her eyes blinked sideways, and her voice echoed with a strange rhythm. Ambassador Voss, she said, bowing slightly. Your world's creativity is interesting, but your kind is known for war. Tell me, why should we risk inviting such danger into our circle? Alex sat across from her, his voice steady. Because Earth has changed. We're not perfect, but we've learned, we've unified, we've survived. Now we want to contribute, not conquer. Mezera watched him closely, her face unreadable. After a long pause, she said, You speak with clarity. That is rare. I will consider your words. One step forward. But not all conversations went well. Later, Alex met with Councillor Dren Cal of the Varkun Syndicate. The Varkun were thick-skinned creatures with sharp spines along their backs. Dren Cal was blunt. Humans are clever, he growled. But clever turns dangerous. We don't need another clever predator in the Union. Alex tried to remain calm. We're not predators. We're builders now. Builders of what? Dren Cal sneered. Weapons? Wars? Cities that collapse? The meeting ended in silence. Another door closed. By mid-afternoon, Alex had spoken to 5 delegates. Only one showed full support. 2 were undecided. 2 others dismissed him completely. The odds didn't look good. He returned to his temporary quarters, a suite overlooking the glowing plains outside the city dome. The skyline flickered with the lights of ships coming and going. Alex poured a glass of filtered water and stared out the window. Taran, he said quietly, what's the council count now? Based on updated sentiment analysis, the AI replied, 35% support Earth's inclusion, 40% oppose, 25% undecided. Vela's influence is growing. Alex closed his eyes. The vote was in 2 days. If he didn't sway the undecided, Earth would be denied. Just then, a sharp beep came from the comm panel by the door. Ambassador, Taran said, there has been an incident in the northern wing of the council chambers. A representative from the Zalari Accord, one of Earth's few public allies, was found unconscious. Cause unknown. Alex rushed to the hall. Inside the medical bay, he found a floating pod containing the injured delegate, Envoy Karel of the Zalari. Her skin was a deep violet, her limbs translucent. Monitors blinked softly above her. A Union medic approached. We believe she was poisoned. The toxin is rare, not native to Lysar 7. Will she survive? She's stable, but she won't wake before the vote. Alex felt a cold weight settle in his chest. Someone was sabotaging Earth's chances, and they were willing to harm innocents to do it. Later that evening, during a diplomatic reception, Alex walked among delegates speaking in hushed tones. As he passed a dark marble pillar, he heard a familiar voice. Quite a shame. What happened to the Zalari envoy? Alex turned to see Vela Thax standing behind him. The Cerelian chancellor looked calm, almost pleased. Tragic. Vela continued. Such fragile species, so easily broken. Alex stepped closer, voice low. If you had anything to do with that, I would never break council law. Vela interrupted, a faint smile on his lips. But if your world cannot protect its own allies, How can it protect the Union? He turned and walked away, his long cloak brushing the floor behind him. Alex clenched his fists, then slowly released them. Anger wouldn't help. He had to stay sharp, focused. Later that night, he stood again at the window, watching the stars. "Taran," he said quietly, "if they fear us so much, how do we show them who we really are?" There was a pause. "Perhaps," the AI said softly, "we show them what Earth can give, not what it has done." Alex nodded slowly. He needed more than words now. He needed something undeniable, something that would change the game. And somewhere back on Earth, he knew, something powerful was waiting. He just hoped it would be enough. The next morning on Lysar 7 was quiet but tense. The skies above the Galactic Union headquarters were a smooth gray, reflecting the heavy mood inside the council towers. The vote on Earth's membership was only 1 day away. Alex Voss hadn't slept. He sat at his desk, scanning through reports on interspecies political alignments. The poisoning of Envoy Carell had shaken many delegates. Some grew silent. Others became cold and cautious. Fear was beginning to outweigh reason. Taran, the AI assistant, broke the silence. "Ambassador, there is a secure message from Earth Command, marked urgent and eyes only." Alex tapped the compad. A blue hologram flickered to life in front of him, showing the face of Dr. Lena Zhao, Earth's top energy scientist. Her expression was serious, but beneath that, Alex saw something else: excitement. "Ambassador Voss," she said, "this is official confirmation. Project Helios has succeeded." Alex sat forward. He had been waiting months for this. Quantum solar fusion is now active. The Helios core has sustained energy output for 72 hours without failure. Clean, infinite, controllable. We did it. Alex's heart pounded. This changed everything. Earth had created something that could power entire planets with no waste, no radiation, and no environmental damage. The technology, once theoretical, was now real, and Earth was the only world that had it. Dr. Zhao continued, "We're ready to share this, but only if it serves Earth's future. The Council's vote that changes the stakes." The message ended. Alex leaned back, eyes fixed on the ceiling. He had something that could shift the balance in Earth's favor, but revealing it came with risks. The Galactic Union had laws to prevent resource exploitation, but that didn't mean every species followed them. If Earth appeared too valuable too quickly, it might draw interest for the wrong reasons. Offers, threats, even force. "Taran," Alex said quietly, "what's the strategic risk of revealing Helios?" The AI responded instantly. "High. If the Council believes Earth is offering the technology in exchange for entry, it could be seen as bribery. If certain blocs see Earth as too powerful, they may vote against membership to contain you. So if I share it, we could win, or lose everything." "Correct." Alex stood and walked to the wide window overlooking the city again. The skyships drifted silently between towers. On the surface, the city looked peaceful, but he knew that behind every window, political minds were calculating. He needed advice. He contacted Sia Null, the bird-like delegate from the Trinari Collective. She agreed to meet in a private garden dome near the upper tower, a space of silence and reflection, filled with floating plants and soft light. Alex explained the situation. Sia Null listened, her feathers twitching slightly as he spoke. When he finished, she remained quiet for a long moment. "When a tree grows strong fruit," she said finally, "it must choose. Share that fruit with neighbors, or guard it until others try to cut the tree down." "And what would the Trinari do?" "We share carefully," she said, "but we never share from fear." Alex understood. If he shared Earth's breakthrough, it had to be from strength, not desperation. As he walked back to his quarters, his mind turned. Would revealing the Helios project prove Earth's value, or make it a target? That evening, he called a meeting with his small Earth delegation. Only 3 people: his assistant Jalen, tech envoy Mira Chen, and Taran, the AI. No cameras, no records. Alex explained the Helios news. Jalen looked stunned. Mira's eyes lit up. "This could change everything," Mira said. "Unlimited power. Think what that means for planetary colonies, failing systems, refugee fleets. Earth becomes essential." Jalen, more cautious, asked, "And what happens when someone decides Earth shouldn't be the one holding that power?" Alex didn't answer at first. Then he said, "That's why we don't offer it as a bargaining chip. We present it as proof of who we are now, not what we were." The room fell quiet. Alex stood. "I'm not here to buy our seat at the table, but if the galaxy is judging us based on our past, then they need to see our future." They all nodded. Later that night, alone in his room, Alex reviewed his speech draft. It was still a rough outline. Words mattered now more than ever. He'd need to walk a thin line, showing Earth's strength without sounding arrogant, offering something without sounding desperate. Outside, the lights of Lysa 7 flickered like stars. The time had come to stop defending Earth's past. Tomorrow he would show them Earth's future. The sun above Lysa 7 never truly set. The light source was artificial, filtered through planetary shields that kept the climate in perfect balance. But Alex Voss felt the pressure of a long day pressing on him. There were only hours left until the final vote. He stood before a mirror in his quarters, straightening the collar of his formal coat. The Earth insignia over his chest caught the light, a symbol of a world still considered primitive by many in the Union. He didn't mind the judgment anymore. He wasn't here to be liked. He was here to be understood. "Taran," he said, "any changes to the Council sentiment report?" The AI's soft voice answered, "Minor shift. 2 previously undecided delegates have moved to likely opposition. Based on conversation logs and social signals, their change appears influenced by Chancellor Vela's private campaign." "Of course it is," Alex muttered. For 2 days Vela Thax had worked the shadows of the Council, not with loud speeches or public challenges, but with quiet whispers. He reminded delegates of Earth's violent past, of civil wars, resource conflicts, artificial intelligence disasters. He painted humanity as emotionally unstable and dangerous, and he was good at it. Alex couldn't fight whispers with more words. He needed something real, something no one could dismiss. He activated his secure tablet. The Helios presentation file glowed on the screen, waiting to be shown. Still, he hesitated. Once he revealed it, there was no turning back. Earth's greatest achievement would be known to the galaxy. That meant hope. It also meant danger, greedy worlds, rival alliances, jealous powers. But he had made his choice. He turned off the screen and left the room. The meeting chamber was smaller than the Grand Council Hall, but still elegant. Silver arches, floating seats and clean glass walls overlooking the stars. It was reserved for diplomatic discussions, informal but crucial. Alex had arranged a private session with 5 key delegates, species still undecided on Earth's entry. If he could sway even 3 of them, the vote could shift in Earth's favor. The delegates arrived one by one. Sia Knoll of the Trinari Collective, Councillor Mezzer of the Jarathi Assembly, Prime Observer, Excel of the Mirok Mindfold, Envoy Cherv of the Draylan Pact, and finally, Vela Thax. The others were invited. Vela simply appeared. He offered a thin smile. "I heard you were planning something special, Ambassador. I wouldn't want to miss it." Alex didn't react. He stepped to the center of the room and addressed the group. "I asked you here because we're running out of time," he said. "Earth's application has been reduced to a single question. Can you trust us? You've all seen our history. You've heard the stories, and many of them are true." He paused, scanning their faces. "But you haven't seen what we've become." He tapped a small control panel, and a 3D projection flickered to life in the air above him. It showed the Helios core, an orb of light suspended in a vacuum chamber, pulsing with controlled energy. "This is Earth's latest creation, quantum solar fusion, the Helios project." The delegates leaned in. Vela narrowed his eyes. Alex continued. "It uses harvested solar particles and gravitational compression to create infinite clean energy. No waste, no emissions, no threat. It could power entire civilizations." Mezra blinked, metallic skin shimmering. "You're saying Earth solved the fusion dilemma?" "Yes," Alex said. And we're offering this not to buy favor but to prove who we are now. We could have hidden it, used it as leverage, sold it to the highest bidder, but we're offering it openly, because we believe that cooperation, not secrecy, is the future. Envoy Chur's long tendrils twitched thoughtfully. You give away your advantage. Why? Because if the Union is going to fear us, let it be for our ability to change, not for our past. Vela stepped forward. A beautiful light show, Ambassador. But what happens when another war breaks out on your planet? When emotion overrides logic, as it has so many times before? What happens when this power becomes a weapon? Alex didn't flinch. Then judge us by how we respond, not how we once failed. There was silence, a long one. Finally Sia Knoll stood. This is no longer about fear. It's about vision, and I believe Earth has found one. One by one the other delegates rose and left. Each quiet, thoughtful, undecided no longer. Vela lingered. You've made your move, he said, voice low. But understand this, Ambassador. The Union doesn't welcome threats, even smiling ones. Alex stepped closer. This wasn't a threat. It was a mirror. If you don't like what you see, maybe you're the one who's afraid. Vela said nothing. He turned and walked away, the quiet echo of his steps fading down the corridor. That night Alex sat alone again in his quarters, looking out over the city of light. The stars beyond the dome seemed closer now. Taran, he said, send the full Helios data to the Council archives. Open access. Confirming, the AI replied. It's done. There was no more hiding, no more defense. Earth had shown its hand. Now the galaxy would decide what came next. The Grand Council Hall of Lysar 7 pulsed with energy. Hundreds of delegates had gathered in the massive dome, each seated in curved rows that rose toward the ceiling. The air shimmered with quiet tension. Every movement, every whisper, seemed louder than usual. This was the final session. The vote on Earth's membership would happen today. At the center of the room, the speaking platform hovered just above the floor, an open circle of light surrounded by transparent barriers. That was where arguments were made, where reputations rose or fell. Alex Voss stood in the shadows just outside the platform, calm on the surface but burning inside. Behind him, the Earth delegation sat in silence. His aide Jalen nodded once. Mira Chen gave a brief smile. Even Taran, the AI, said nothing. A tone rang out across the chamber. The Council recognizes Ambassador Alex Voss of Earth. He stepped into the light. Hundreds of eyes in all shapes and colors turned toward him. Some delegates looked curious, some skeptical, others cold and unreadable. Among them, Velo Thax sat high on the central tier, arms folded. Alex took a deep breath and began. Members of the Galactic Union, he said, I stand before you not as a conqueror, not as a beggar, but as a representative of a world that wants to stand beside you, equal, honest, and ready. His voice was steady, clear. You've heard about our past. You've studied our conflicts. You've questioned our emotions. You're right to ask those questions, because trust must be earned. A ripple moved through the hall. Yes, we've made mistakes, Alex continued. Our planet has seen war, greed, fear, but it has also seen progress, healing, unity. In the last 100 years, we've done something many thought impossible. We came together, not under one government, not under one belief, but under one promise that we would rise not at the cost of others, but with them. He tapped a small control on his wrist. A hologram filled the space above the platform. It showed images, Earth's forests regrown, oceans healed, cities powered by clean energy, and satellites orbiting the planet in harmony. And then it showed the Helios core. The chamber grew still. This is the Helios project, Alex said. A solar fusion engine developed by Earth scientists. Infinite, clean power. No pollution, no destruction. This is what humanity has created. Not as a weapon, but as a gift. He looked up at the delegates. We share this with you, all of you. No conditions, no price. We believe energy is life, and life should not be kept behind walls. Murmurs spread across the rows. Velo Thax rose. So now Earth brings fire to the stars, he said. Voice cold. Do you expect us to believe this is generosity, not ambition? Alex didn't flinch. We didn't come to impress you. We came to show you who we are. If that makes you uncomfortable, Perhaps you're not afraid of what we've done. You're afraid of what we've become. Gasps echoed in the hall. Sia Knoll of the Trinari stood. Ambassador Voss speaks truth. We fear what we do not control, but progress is not control. It is trust, and I believe Earth is worthy of that. More delegates stood. The chamber shifted. The High Speaker of the Council, an ancient being made of light and crystal, finally rose from the upper dais. The time has come, it said. Let the vote be cast. One by one, delegates entered their decisions into their stations. Each confirmation made a soft chime. Hundreds of chimes echoed like rain. Alex stood still. Jalen held his breath. Mira closed her eyes. After several minutes, the High Speaker turned to the center. The vote is complete. A glowing ring appeared in the air above the chamber. Half blue, half red. Slowly the red portion shrank. Final result. Yes, 61%. No, 39%. A quiet pause fell over the hall. Then applause, some hesitant, some strong. The High Speaker raised its hand. By majority decision, the planet Earth is granted provisional membership in the Galactic Union. Alex didn't move at first. Then slowly he exhaled. The breath he didn't know he was holding escaped from his chest like a weight falling away. He looked up at the crowd. Not all were happy. Some still doubted him. Some remained silent. But many nodded. Many looked curious now. Not afraid. He had done it. Earth was in. Later, after the council dispersed, Alex walked through the empty hallways of the tower. The echo of the vote still rang in his mind. At a quiet corner, he found Velo Thax waiting. You won, Velo said flatly. Alex stopped. We earned it. Velo stepped closer. This council is not a prize. It is a battlefield of influence, and you just placed Earth in the center of it. I know, Alex said. Be careful, Ambassador, Velo warned. Sometimes a bright light draws things you can't control. Alex gave a faint smile. Then let's make sure the light is worth following. He walked away, head high. That night from the viewing deck of his quarters, Alex sent a single message to Earth. We did it. But this is only the beginning. The stars outside didn't look so far now. The morning after the vote, the skies above Lesar 7 were calm. A soft golden hue spread across the horizon, reflecting off the smooth towers of the Galactic Union capital. The city, usually filled with the constant hum of movement, seemed quieter than usual, as if the galaxy itself was holding its breath. Inside his quarters, Alex Voss stood in front of the window, sipping from a warm mug of black tea. He had barely slept, but he didn't feel tired. His body was running on something stronger than rest, relief, pride, and the sharp focus of what came next. The message from Earth had come just before dawn. Celebrations had erupted across the planet the moment the vote was announced. Cities glowed with light. Children danced in the streets. News networks played his speech over and over. For the first time, Earth was not just watching the galaxy. They were part of it. Alex smiled as he read the final line of the message from Earth Command. The galaxy knows our name now. Well done, Ambassador. He placed the mug down and turned as the doors to his suite slid open. Mira Chen walked in, followed by Jalen and a small floating holodrone carrying a rolled document. Everything's ready, Mira said. Your first day as Earth's official representative to the Union. Alex raised an eyebrow. You're telling me it starts today? You thought they'd give you a break, she smirked. Welcome to the real diplomacy. Jalen handed him a small slate device. List of meetings. First, orientation with the Union's Ethics Council. Then interviews with the Science Assembly about Helios. And later, a press briefing. Alex sighed, but it was light-hearted. Can't even enjoy the victory. Mira handed him the rolled document. You might enjoy this. He unrolled it carefully. Inside was a list of the 61% who voted yes on Earth's membership. Names and species. Some he recognized. Some were unexpected. And there, just below the halfway mark, was a name that made him pause. Chancellor Vela Thax, Cerelian Dominion. Alex stared at the name. Is this a mistake? He asked. No, Mira said. We checked 3 times. Jalen added. Looks like Vela voted yes in the end. Alex said nothing for a long time. Then he rolled the document back up. He wanted to keep us close, Alex said. He thinks if Earth's inside the Union, he can keep an eye on us, influence us. He'd rather contain us from within than push us into the hands of someone else. Mira shrugged. Maybe. Or maybe he just saw what everyone else did. Truth. Alex didn't answer. Instead, he stepped outside onto the platform balcony. From this high up, the stars looked endless. Ships moved quietly through the skies, some small, some enormous, each of them from different worlds, different people, all now connected to Earth. It still didn't feel real. For centuries, humans had looked up at the stars and wondered if they were alone. Now, not only did they know the answer, they had a seat among them. Earth was no longer the outsider. It was no longer the uninvited guest. But Alex knew this was only the first step. He would have to navigate alien laws, defend Earth's rights, build alliances, and prevent the very fear that had almost shut them out. Helios, while a gift, was also a magnet. Already, rumors were spreading about who might try to copy it or steal it. He would have to be ready. A soft chime rang from his wristband. Ambassador Voss, Terran said, "You are due at the assembly chamber in 15 minutes. On my way." He looked back one last time at the stars. Then he turned, calm and clear-eyed. Later, in the massive rotunda of the assembly chamber, Alex stood behind Earth's official nameplate. It was now marked with glowing silver letters. Earth, full observing member. Other delegates arrived. Some greeted him with nods. A few stopped to offer congratulations. And as the session began, the High Speaker addressed the room. Today, the speaker announced, "We welcome a new voice to our circle, one that has fought, fallen, risen, and chosen to grow. Let Earth's presence remind us all that no species is fixed in time, that all have the power to change." Applause followed, not from everyone, but enough. Alex felt no need to speak. Not today. His voice had already been heard. Now was the time to listen, to learn, to represent a world that had always looked outward, and finally was looking back in. That evening, from his quiet suite once more, Alex sent one last message to Earth. The galaxy has accepted us, but now we must earn our place every day. We didn't come here to prove we belong. We came here to build something better, for all of us. The message was short, but powerful, because Earth's voice had reached the stars, and it was just getting started.